I think Mr. Kishore Biyani, everybody knows broadly. You're an icon of selling both online and offline. And I think each one of us growing up in one way or another has some way or in one way or another experienced one product that you might have made or another. So maybe uh, even though we have seen you, we don't know so much about your childhood, where you were born. I've met your family, I've come to your house, I've met your daughters and stuff like that. But uh, maybe you can give us a minute or two.
Yeah. So I'm Kishore Biyani. I formed a lot of consumer businesses, called our group the Future Group. And I was born in Bombay, born and brought up in Bombay. Studied commerce, was interested in marketing. So used to follow most of the advertising that used to happen then. And then build my own brand of trousers to start with. Started with fabric business.
How did you first think of starting a trouser brand?
I think that was way back, and
Which year?
I would say 91 or something. I was supplying I was supplying fabric to the garment industry. That time the brands were Charagdin, Double Bull. They were very different brands then.
What year was this?
This must be 87. And people were just moving into from tailor-made to ready-made.
Vidit was not even born.
And
Yeah.
so I feel odd one out here in terms of seniority.
He's halfway there. I'm a little bit lower. He's up six.
So it was a different world. I was born to a very conservative family. We come from Rajasthan. Family was very religious, pious. I was an atheist. Always, I was known as the black sheep of the family. And contrarian thoughts on everything in life. And so I thought I'll not join the family business. We had a small wholesale fabric trading business that time. So when I joined, when I just graduated, I did some course in marketing. I did my CA entrance. I think in 5 years of college, I went to attend a class only once. One class attended in 5 years.
Do you think there is some kind of a correlation between rebellious kids or kids who have grown up with more insecurity than usual to how well they do later in life? Do you think more rebellious, insecure end up doing better?
I believe that today my children are born in abundance and to more democratic parents. I was not born to democratic parents, and we were born in a shortage era. So I think shortages or less availability does definitely makes you work harder and make you expand your mind and thoughts. So I think abundance can create something else, but what we got was not abundance in any which way. No, I went into business, created a fabric which became quite popular. It was called stonewash at that time. Then denim as a fabric came in.
How did you create this fabric?
I think there was a fashion which was going along, and I did some course in weaving, and I was very interested in textile fabric as such. So
how old were you when you were doing this course?
21, 22.
Was it a thing back then to do a course in weaving and try to make a fabric?
I was trying to do everything. I was not a great student or had inclination towards studies. My parents never knew whether I passed or failed also. So we were a joint family. We were 13 of us in our age group. My father was 6 brothers. And if we all came and one of them didn't sleep also, nobody would notice. So we lived very, very differently then. So I think, idea was to create something. And it started with creating that fabric, supplying to the garment industry, building denims, then building our own brand. And then it kept on going on and on. So in terms of creation, it became like building brands, building retail formats, then getting into NBFC, logistic business, insurance, so multiple things, and then investing into a lot of entrepreneurs.
Right. When was that moment when you really scaled? Like when you guys became really big? Because I remember growing up, like your brands were everywhere. And every one of us knew you. You were on the cover of magazines. Like you were talking about that book, na?
It was like one book. It was kind of Bible at that time. So to study the retail.
I think if you look at, if I look back, because I'm in a different state of mind or in terms of business at the moment. So I have done, it might appear that I have done what people do in 3 generations. I created and I destroyed everything. So creation and destruction, and maybe if there is a chance to create something more. But it was a process which was fantastic, because first was destroying your old thoughts, destroying your parents' thoughts, creating something out of that, and then destroying your thoughts again and again. Because we went into luxury and we went into masses. We went to the lowest end of the population with a store format called Aadhaar, which is below 50,000 population. And we dealt with the highest end by creating something called food hall. And in terms of departmental stores, central to brand factory. So we catered to a lot of audiences. And there was a lot of learning from like Hindustan Liver at that point of time. How do you create brands at every segment of the population? So I think branding was something which interested us and me. So we laddered many brands in the retail formats. And so it was a journey. I would say 30 years, we compounded at 30%. So it was for 30 years, we did grow every year. And but now it's a different journey. So another experience. You have become more philosophical than doing anything. Yeah.
It's an incredible journey.
And out of all the things you could have done, like why, like Big Bazaar and Future Group, like why? How did you arrive at this is the thing? This is my calling. Was it just weaving thing which led to this?
Before creating Big Bazaar, I had a format in mind that will create a marketplace for brands. So Central was originally conceptualized much before Big Bazaar for me. But then Big Bazaar came around. I started visiting the bazaars and the haats which used to happen in small towns. So people used to take the markets. So we thought, why can't we create markets with that hustle and bustle in a city? I had not seen Walmart then. I had not seen any other retail format. So we thought, let's try this. And so then the idea was to build scale. So we opened 3 stores in 22 days so that we could build some volumes and some scale. So it was a market, hustle, bustle. We thought there should be a button brush effect. People should meet each other. There should be crowd. Because crowd can only get crowd. So it was a different experience then.
But we must say that, sir, in this country, somebody who has thought of organizing retail and started at that scale, and people started believing because your format was started working. I think several format and come destroyed will come again, futuristic and all, but you have given that genesis or retail can be organized.
Like the kids say today, he's like the OG of commerce.
I call it father
Original gangster.
father of organizing retail.
I think
100%.
I think
Because we have learned so much directly in that.
हर चीज का एक टाइम आता है और कोई निमित्त बनता है. Somebody becomes a catalyst to do that. So I think we
have done that for retail for sure.
We got that opportunity to do it, and I think once you start looking at from consumer lens, you can create something much more, because you are looking at the consumer and create something, not looking at yourself and creating something. So we created that consumer understanding, as a group, we have an organization which is called Future Brands, wherein we, from the last 15 years, every 6 months, we do a Bharat Darshan and we record every societal change happening in the country.
That's very important.
We record every lyrics written in the country. Anything which becomes popular, we make it a point. So like when we used to get huge crowds in Big Bazaar stores, we went to Tirupati temple to understand how to manage crowds. So India is a fascinating country.
That's a box, like release this box.
And what did you learn from Tirupati?
Tirupati is unbelievable management. Crazy. How to manage crowd was something. How do you create that lakhde ka rasta, make people stand in the queue, give them water, give them everything, make them patient. And so you learn from everywhere. India has all the experiences which you can experience and learn from.
Wow.
Incredible.
Learning Tirupati to retail, huh? Should have been the title of the book.
My first retail store experience where we got inspired was Savarna stores in Chennai.
Where they sell idli and all.
Everything they used to sell in one single place.
Sarvana Bhavan, right?
Savarna stores.
Not
Stores,
Sarvana
because
Bhavan.
the store is big.
They used to sell utensils the most.
Oh, I was thinking of Sarvana Bhavan.
No, Savarna Bhavan is a food.
That's a food thing, but the store is huge.
Huge.
Appliances, everything.
Yeah, everything. So Big Bazaar was in fact conceptualized from inspiration of Savarna more than anything else.
Hi, I'm Nikhil. Thank you for watching the podcast.
Let us know who your favorite guest has been and who you'd like to watch next. Thank you.